The exhausting part of addiction wasn't always the drug. Sometimes it was the double life. And a lot of people neglect that. The version of you everybody saw and the version you were hiding. The smiles, the excuses, the fake I'm good, the deleted messages, the stories you had to remember because of the truth of everything that would fall apart if something was exposed. And the crazy part is, after you get clean, that double life doesn't disappear just overnight. You can be sober and still be hiding. You can be rebuilding and still feel like people just don't know the real you. You can be doing better and still feel like your past is standing behind you, just tapping you on the shoulder. So tonight, we're talking about the double life, what it looked like in addiction, how it follows us into recovery, and what it actually takes to become one person again, your authentic self. No mask, no fake success story, just the good, the bad, the ugly, and the real.
What if the obsession that nearly destroyed you is the exact engine needed to build something unstoppable?
Addiction isn't weakness. It's high-level intensity without a compass. It's obsession without direction, drive without structure, energy without discipline. And most people don't lack talent. They lack fire. You never lacked fire. You just aimed it at the wrong thing. Today, we're going to talk about how that same intensity, the one that nearly wrecked you, can become the exact mechanism that builds your freedom.
Welcome to the Roundtable. This is From Addiction to Ambition. I'm Ariel Longoria.
I'm Martyn, Whitham.
And here tonight we have a subject that everybody knows. Everybody knows, everybody wears masks.
I mean, it doesn't have to be even an addiction. Everybody wears a mask at some point in time. Little kids get in trouble and they don't want to do it. They're hiding the mask. I didn't do that.
Oh,
go ahead.
Yeah, so the thing in addiction, let's start there. Let's start right there. Because psychology has wrote many theses. There's been many psychologists and many undergrads who have wrote quite a bit on this subject. But let's really look at what this whole entire purview just encapsulates in addiction. And let's start with the bad. So here we are. We're hiding. Just like you said, a child hiding stuff. I throw a tantrum because I don't want this truth exposed. I throw a tantrum because I don't get my way. When I'm hiding that and I'm living that double life, it felt normal. It was normality, but it was exhausting. It was absolute. And what, you just tell people, oh, I'll get high or I'll smoke meth and what, or this. When you come to that part, and that is a cruel, just
When that mask comes off of hiding your addiction and you're just in it, that's probably one of the lowest points of addiction I experienced. Because
what's raw?
growing up as a kid, I mean, I grew up in a town of 100 people. So if I was going to do what I was going to do, I mean, I had to at least try to hide it. Because most of them were preppy kids that played football. They were very active in the school. And they all hung out all the time. And it was just wholesome, almost, you know? And then here I am. I go to get a job at 16 so I can get my recording studio. I'm already on pills, hiding that fairly well. But then I started doing cocaine. And I got sloppy, but I was still trying to hide it because I had an image and I was worried about it because I don't want to be a junkie.
Your persona, not your authentic self, yeah.
But yeah, once I hit a certain level, my wife left me. I didn't get to see my kids anymore. I didn't have a house. I was living in a car and the car got taken away. I had nothing. I didn't care. I was hiding out behind a tree shooting up in the park. I was shooting up under the tables in the laundromat. I just didn't care who saw me anymore. I wasn't hiding it. I was down to 128 pounds. I knew I couldn't go get a job. I wouldn't hire me at that point. Like, the mask was off, and I just
And the
embraced it.
sabotage was on.
Yes. And so masks are good in that sense that you at least stop yourself sometimes, because you can't hold that persona if you keep going that way. But
We were discussing earlier, and there's a famous quote that I ran on, and I'm going to read it to y'all. And I'm unsure about it. So, not to butcher her name, Kim Yana Yan is quoted saying, "We all wear masks, but it's the one we choose to wear that makes a difference." I gotta argue it, and I gotta argue that that's not true. So I used to laugh, and there's an old saying, and I don't know if it's Buddhist or Taoist, but it says we are all men with 1,000 masks. Not certain where the quote comes from. I in that life, because I lived so many different lives, fooling around with this girl, fooling around with that girl, going to do my illegal drug deals or illegal gun deals or other things that I was involved with in criminal activities, not proud of by no means. I would just switch a mask.
different guy shows up to each location.
And just like I said earlier, just living with myself or anyone else, no one knew me. And that's because I myself did not know myself. So what masks I want to wear, I knew I couldn't wear a mask. I try to be as authentic and as raw as I appropriately can each and every day. Sometimes it will certainly slip out. Anybody that knows me knows I can get fairly raw. But I know if I'm not sharing my true self, even things that I hold back and I'm ashamed of, or I'm just like, wow, it's not me. It's not who I am, because I don't want to be a part of that mask, because that mask deteriorates who you are as a person. And people are surely going to argue with this video, because they're like, oh, when you're at work, or hey, when you're doing an estimate, or when you're even, discussing business. Well, I'll tell you right now, and for anyone watching this channel, bet you clients of mine can get on, or business associates can get on and be like, no, he's discussed his recovery open in our first meeting and how proud he is to do community work and host community events, because it's something that empowers me, and I know a lot of people don't speak about. If I was wearing a mask the full time today, doing the work I was doing with a business and collaborating and partnering up with a business to put our clothing line into their business storefront, I don't think the business owner would have been comfortable telling me that they were 8 months sober. And we came upon that. We even spoke about you, I just hope you know. But
It really makes a stronger connection because of that openness.
You empower somebody. But when you're wearing a mask, you're not fully empowered yourself. I don't care what kind of life you're living or anything else. You can't be. And that other person isn't going to feel totally comfortable with you or people or whatever you're doing. And you're not fully going to be present, because you're going to be worried about the lies or what not to bring up or what to bring up. If I have to be so concerned of what to bring up with you, then I got to be concerned about what that is that I'm concerned about, because everything done in the dark, as it says in the Bible, will come to light.
You got to address those things that make you feel that way, because you can change that for yourself too.
You can't be authentic, and you got to wear a mask.
Now, I do have a counterpoint to your argument.
How about?
So, yes, I do agree that mask needs to come down, and for me, that's been a back and forth. I started this channel. I mean, I definitely talk about it. I promote that whole side of me so that I can help others come up and get to the other side. So I'm not ashamed of it, and I know what I learned from it. But I've definitely got that side with my real estate business where, not ashamed. I've had many conversations with many clients, and they love what I do. So in the beginning, I was worried about it, and even though I have it all over the internet, but
Yeah.
but then it came down because every single person I've talked to totally supports the idea. Some of them want to help in any way they can, and some of them are really, I think, are going to be a huge role in from addiction to ambition. And so, like you said, if I would have just kept that mask up and this stays here and this stays here, never allowing it to cross over if it comes up. So I do still guardrail, but I don't allow it to stop me. If it's brought up or if I see that we could have that connection, they might need that help, I'm gonna, take that shot. Or if I hear something that they said that I know where you've been kind of moment, I'm gonna have that
You
conversation.
gotta have the conversation.
But at the same time, I don't always bring it up just because that's not what they're there for. So it's a wishy-washy one, but it's kind of how my clientele comes up too. Because some of those conversations are just, hey, I want that. This is how much I want it for. Go do it. So
you don't always get that connection. You don't always get the opportunity, which I truly understand as well. And again, that's part of building relationships and partnerships and that mutual trust. And again, it doesn't always come up in every conversation, but certainly when it comes to wearing masks and hiding in that life, in that scheming life, a lot of people.
Counterpoint. I better say it before I forget. The counterpoint was one mask I do see okay to wear, and this is limited because you need to push through it. But confidence, the mask of confidence, because you're doing the right thing, even though you have that worry, that fear. Just like starting a business, taking those first steps, those initial steps that you're so worried you're going to mess everything up. Wear that mask, push through because you know what you should be doing. You might not be confident that it's going to work out great, and there's all that unknown. And this could apply anywhere. But a mask of confidence for a period of time while it's normalizing in your life. I feel like there's some leeway on that mask. But even then, don't completely fake it till you make it. You got to reach up. If you're lost, don't keep faking it.
Ask for help.
Find somebody that's done it, and
Certainly ask for help.
mentorships. There's so many training videos. There's just surround yourself with people doing the thing you want to do, and you'll get feedback. People who are really successful don't hold information back. So like I said, the mask helps you get moving, get your feet on the ground. But don't let it bury you either. So that's where my counterpoint was I feel that mask is helpful to an extent.
Here's my building point to that. Again, I'm different than most. I get it. Anybody that knows me knows I'm really rambunctious, and I'm a go-getter. Let's just say that. I'm very headstrong. Even when I'm not feeling confident, if I've made the decision to do something, I just do it. I just do it. Man, there's no, and I am who I am. So you like it, you don't like it. I don't really care how you feel about it, how you feel about me. I don't care what you're going to troll on this video. I'm going to do it. I'm going to keep doing it. I don't care. How about that? And I do the same thing with business or anything else. You don't have to be my client. You don't have to be my partner. You don't have to be anything. I don't really care. And that's not that I don't. So don't mistake that for a pompous, oh, I'm grandiose, I'm just so much better. No, I don't have my entire life to care about that. A really great quote, and again, I'm going to butcher who it was from, but I remember hearing it in the past. So please, if you're famous and you said this, say that. You don't have to be good to get started, but you got to get started to get good. And I've always just kind of just thought about that and was like, you know what? No matter what I do, I can try painting or design like Tyson does. Man, I would suck. But I'm going to suck just as bad today or tomorrow if I never do it than I would the next day if I was just like, I'm going to apply.
You can never make those
15 minutes,
1% improvements if you're not putting pen to paper or, hammering nails, whatever it is you're building. If you're not taking steps to learn, educate, just do. Just go out there and produce something terrible.
Yep.
At least you produce something that
least
day,
you
as
produce
opposed
something.
to sitting there making fun of the people who are actually trying to better their lives.
Or in that negative connotation or self-thought and that self-sabotage of yourself, of what you can or cannot do. Well, you don't know what you can or cannot do if you have not done it. And a lot of us who wear masks sometimes falsify and I know I did it, falsify the information, right? So you're lying and I'm trying to be this grandiose, I'm trying to be this person in front of you to do this, to do that, shaking your hand, I'm smiling, I'm having a great day, we're doing great, awesome, I did this, I'm talking myself up, sweet, because we sure know how to talk, especially when we're on one. And I would just tell you all these things that I felt like you wanted to hear or that just flowed in the conversation. And at the end of the day, shit, I ain't done one of them. Sometimes I might have even tickled with a couple of them, but never even got far.
Right.
And it wasn't until later in my life that I was like, oh, wow.
Make
If
yourself
they
an
had
expert
pushed-
of all these things
yeah,
you
if
thought
they
about
had,
doing.
If they had pushed any further into my con, but really the con was just to make myself feel better, feel more important. The mask was just really a false identity of who I wasn't. And that's that in itself. That's why I said, that's not authentic, and I can't be it. I ask questions, I'm like, there's crap I don't know. There's the retail stuff I didn't know today. I don't know. I can't tell you. I can't even be the first person to tell you, but I can be the first person to ask. You got a lot of experience. Realty. I can't be the first person to tell you. Even what we talk about with AI. I can't.
Yeah.
A big learning curve. But I can sure ask and be like, hey, let's check this out together. Walk me through it like I'm a baby or an infant. And like, I'm going to learn it. So I think it's accepting your limitations is part of, and that's exactly, we don't want to accept that. And we don't want to be limited. And I don't like being limited either. But part of being authentic and taking off that mask is limiting yourself for all that grandiosity, all that extra stuff, and pushing through the natural flow. Because there's so much that's stagnant within you that you're coping, past trauma, the trauma you've caused yourself, the self-destruction.
You're
Maybe
rebuilding.
it's suicidal thoughts. Let's get really, and there's 988 for that. Really important factors that we need to look at, but
Don't have to focus on that yourself. I mean,
absolutely not.
when it feels too heavy, that's what goes back to, we said it's good for business to surround yourself. When it feels too heavy on that end of things, go reach out for help. I mean, I've had my
Absolutely.
life saved by him before too. I mean, I had a really rough day, and I
It's where the mask is dangerous because I'm good, I'm cool.
I'm
No,
fine,
dude,
I'm
you're
good.
you're coming down and you have DTs. Okay, let's get honored. There's been times where like life sucks. I'm sober now. Now I'm trudging through the monotony of every single BS day. Like, oh, I'm everybody else. Yeah, but there's other ways to process, other ways to cope, other ways to eliminate all that extra stuff that you may be compounding inside yourself, or that's already compounded, that these monotonous days that you're living, you just think they're the most miserable times of your life, but actually they're growing periods, and it's just you have lived 20 plus years or 12 years or 6 years, whatever, however long you live with those masks or in that false identity of drug use and who you quote unquote were or are that you think you are is totally not your authentic self, and each one of us have our own hobbies, our own talents, and so you really getting to express that part of yourself and be that part of yourself is taking off those masks. And you said, the mask of confidence. Again, I got to counter that because I think confidence is built when you set all of it down and express yourself how you truly authentically are, and not and I mean such small so someone cannot come on this and be like, oh, I'm truly authentically a drug addict or a violent person. Okay, sociopaths care about something. No, there's but on a serious note, like you're a writer and you just start writing and you're just like, boom, I've had writer's block. Well, just write something. I don't know. And you draw
Write the
something.
ABCs. Like,
I don't know.
put
You
something on paper.
skate something. You see the skateboards, maybe. Just get back to it, and it builds you. I feel more confident when I do the things I love and are being myself and present than I even am pretending I'm confident.
No, I wholeheartedly agree with that statement. Is your confidence, your real confidence, is going to be built. That's why I say that mask of confidence, it can only carry you so far. So don't ever put weight on it. Put weight on it when you got to go face a client and you just don't want to be there that day. Yeah, I got this job. That's the only, that's the weight of that mask that I would like to see anybody carry, is just not feeling it, but you're still pushing forward. There's an internal confidence. So it's real to an extent, but you got to throw it on your face because you're going through something. You're dealing with something. But you're still putting in the effort to move forward. So, like I said, that's about the weight of the mask, because you're absolutely right. Confidence is built through repeated steps and compounding results. That's the only way you're going to get confidence in anything you're doing.
And sometimes those compound results are, you know what, I didn't use today, or you know what, I washed the dishes, I had a clean house, I made my bed this morning, I washed my body, and I went to a 9 to 5. I went and flipped burgers, you know what, but my rent's paid.
Right.
Everything else. And be proud of those little victories. Those little victories are little parts of you that are so much better than you can ever imagine, because when you do start building yourself up and start exploring different options and different hobbies and different things, it only leaves it's so cliche, but it only leaves room for just absolute growth and
the satisfaction as you're growing starts to fill that void that you never thought would be filled, that you always thought you'd be hollow. And once you just push it out of your head for a minute and start working on something bigger than yourself,
you tell it,
that void starts shrinking and shrinking. I don't even know if that void's still in me or not, because I haven't heard from him in a while. But
that's for the hyper focus that we were talking on before, because I just hyper focus and I'm just like, okay, we're going to do this until...
I would like to circle back on how we said, little kids trying to stay out of trouble wear that mask.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in addiction, first off, the first mask we wear in addiction, if we're doing it underage, is the little kid putting a mask on to hide from their parents or whatever, trying to stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
But that little kid part stays with you, because you're learning these things as a kid, that this is what I do to keep from the trouble I don't want. And we talked earlier, we're learning how to use restraint and control our emotions as adults when we should have been learning this as kids. And it's a hard mask to take off sometimes.
Because it's a responsibility.
Accepting what you don't know, like you said earlier, and I like to say this quote a lot, is the most you can know is that you know nothing. It sounds stupid, my daughter makes fun of me for it, but all it really means is if you admit you don't know something, you'll reach for help, or somebody will hear you say that and they'll tell you, or they'll guide you.
In a more positive aspect, if I don't know it, that means I have the opportunity to learn it, and so much more. It gives me an opportunity, and it gives me a chance to expand. And, circling back to this, you speak about, the child getting in trouble and everything else, and what we had discussed. It's the responsibility. The self-destructive path that you had been on in your drug use left consequences. And we don't want to accept those consequences or left a lot of unfinished things, and we don't want to accept it. So we make these grandiose gestures or lies that we
You're at the
finished
end of
and
a
that we
battlefield, looking
It
over
doesn't-
the bodies behind you,
and you're like, no way, that didn't do all that. No way. I'm looking in the mirror, not in the rear view mirror where everything's getting smaller. That's totally was me. No, that was you. And you have to accept that.
and some of that you have to
And
fix.
some of that you get the opportunity to fix, some of it you don't. Some of it you never get to say sorry. And that is another oh god.
Yeah, that's a whole other
different
conversation
that we'll get on. But the thing is though, you still have to accept responsibility, whether you ever have any criminal responsibilities, consequences, anything else, or the consequences are just hardships in your family or something else. You still have to accept the responsibility in which you had something to do with it. And that's the hard part about taking off the mask. And at least that's the ugliest part, is you don't. And then you're just like, oh wow. But you know what? When you do, and you say, no, I have family turmoil. Okay. I didn't do the best myself as a brother, as a son, as a husband, as a friend. Certainly not. Strung out.
Yeah.
It's not. And like I laugh now, but really that laughter is something to mask. But
And in the thick of it, you want to blame them for being this or that, and then
you're all against me. You're all enemies. You're all doing this. No, I also did wrong. Now, did I do all the wrong, everything? Possibly, 100% of the time. No, you always probably didn't. But at
usually
some
two-way
point in
street,
time,
but-
yes, there's always two narratives. However, at the same time, when we're strung out or when we are just so lost in our own habits of use of alcoholism or something else, we're not looking at how we are affecting anybody else, and we don't want to take off that mask that we're not okay. And that's my favorite quote, is it's okay to not be okay. And as simple as that is. So, coming in and moving full circle around with being your authentic self, I think this first step is just to breathe it out. Say, I have effed up a few things. There are things, but that isn't me. And that doesn't determine my future. Yes, I may have the opportunity to fix those, but I must build me, which, as you said, the compounding results sometimes are just those simple habits that we talked about in episode 1, right? Mm-hmm. Building yourself up. I still encourage you all to read James Clear, Atomic Habits. But at the same point in time, so it's doing those things to get you the momentum, to get you the courage, to get you the foundation in order to move beyond that double life. Move beyond those masks and be authentically true to you and what you need to do to have a productive and healthy life.
An exercise I'm learning is helping. I've got 8 years clean, and there's still things you're always building. You're always getting better. Yep. I don't recommend this early in recovery because it's heavy, but I'm writing just a recap from before the drugs.
Oh yeah,
and how I got to here.
Because you can glorify them.
Yeah, and I'm trying not to, but I'm learning so much about, like you were saying, how you have those arguments, you have those falling outs, and how in that moment it was all their fault. As I'm writing through this, it's almost none of their fault in so many of those situations that I'm just like, I was the selfish bastard that just didn't matter if you said you were going to take my family away or if, all my friends were going to leave me. I'm going to go get one more and hope that you stay. And after so many trial runs, you come home and there's no one there. That's why I say don't do this early on in recovery. It's a heavy exercise. Yeah, work the steps how you work the steps that work for you. But I do say when you got a little bit of time behind you, and it's really helping shine a light on what I can work on, what false ideas I've been preaching to myself even over the last 8 years, And it's just really shining a light on new ways I can keep growing. I didn't expect it to do all that. I was just doing it to kind of work on the script and kind of share my story. And it turned into a real self-reflection time. I've been working on it for like a month and a half now. I want it to go deep. But
you know, to build on that, journaling. Journaling
every
is a
day,
very healthy
usually.
thing for mental outlook, but three things that you can, and sometimes it's not so easy, but 3 things you can write positively about yourself. I'm alive. Things you're grateful for. 3 gratitude statements, and it sounds simple, and I do this in mental health, I do this in early recovery as well. Gratitude. Have a gratitude journal. And mine started out very simply, like, I'm grateful for the trees. I'm grateful for my kids. Okay, really bland. I'm grateful to be able to eat today. Awesome. And if you notice, I didn't say anything about myself. For the longest time, I wasn't grateful for anything. And then it slowly built up. I'm grateful for the opportunities to be in recovery. I'm grateful for the opportunities to restore the relationships and to build the bonds that I have the opportunity to build with. And, you know, I'm grateful to be able to have the health that I have, you know, thank God. And so journaling and stuff like that is very paramount to building. A
huge turning point for my, I had about 4 years, and I was in the routine, but it wasn't anything of growth. It was just making it through the day. And then I started looking into the motivational videos, and I kept hearing journaling. I was like, I don't know what to write on paper, so I got...
Just listen to it, apply it.
Apply it, and that's where I started applying those pretty quick, because I was just like tired of it. After all those years of not applying it, and I started having it coming into my life, it's there for a reason. So I started applying it, and journal. So I didn't know what to write. I got a guided journal, and that helped kick it off for me to just
need help just in that aspect too, and just, hey, what do I need to write? And don't ask AI. Come on, guys, get creative. So
I
guess you can ask AI.
Don't ask AI to write your thoughts.
Don't ask AI to write your thoughts.
Journaling, you're reading.
That's something personal.
Do something for yourself in the mornings that's for you. Let your computers and everything start your day.
But you know what? And that too is a way to break off those masks, to journal, to write out your true authentic self and reframe who you are, and to come back to that part of you that is fundamentally aware with you moment by moment. Mm-hmm. And just as you transition from, drug addiction to sobriety and everything else, and grow into entrepreneurship or whatever you grow into. And so I think that pretty much wraps it, brother.
I like it. It's this is a really good topic. Definitely, like I said, since I've been writing that other recap of my life, this one right here has been coming up a lot. And it's really, you don't think about it as much later on, because you do find a way to drop them. But every now and then you'll still see where you could do a little better on dropping a persona or becoming the person you know and hear you're wanting to be.
Becoming another person.
Because you've been
Shout out, Mr. Disguise.
been living a little bit of a life that maybe you're not so proud of the entirety of what you've built even after sobriety. So, just shine lights on things forever. And I hear that from so many people in recovery, is there's always something new you can learn about yourself. And always. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But when you learn enough good things, you can protect yourself from the bad.
Yep, because that part of you and your identity is true. Well, this has been the Roundtable, from addiction to ambition. Please like, follow, share, and if you will, leave a comment. We'd like to reach out to you, discuss anything or any questions or concerns or comments that you guys do have. Thank you for joining us.
If you guys want to get in a room where we have these conversations daily, other people in recovery lifting each other up to new heights, building businesses, connecting with their families again, chasing their dreams, whatever your goal in life is, it's going to be a room full of people It's From Addiction to Ambition, Rebuilt Relentless. I'll have a link on the bio and in the description of this video. We're getting a lot of high-level people in there, a lot of people that have a lot of time behind them, experience,
really
all the way
excited
through. But that's it. We'll see you guys again next week.
All right. Have a blessed day.